Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with?
And welcome everyone to the Man Cave. My name is Paul Knapp, and I will be your host for tonight's show. This is season number 1, episode number 6 for the year for my TST, Toy Soldier Tuesday. And we have a special guest waiting in the green room tonight. But before we get to him and do his introduction, just like to make a couple announcements coming up next week. I believe we have Mr. Richard Conte from Conte Collectibles with us. He's in the waiting room, so we're going to find out. He's on the bench, if you will. Also, we have Ken Syak of LOD Toy Soldier, so he's going to be coming up in the near future. I also have Joe Baker. A lot of you guys subscribe to his YouTube channel, so Joe Baker will be with us in the near future. Craig Remington, who also owns a store down in Florida, wants to jump on board. So we got a lot of people. Oh, Jeff Imel as well, who owns BMC Toys. If you buy a lot of toy soldiers from BMC Toys, you'll know Jeff. So looking forward to getting these people on in the near future. I want to keep this TST Toy Soldier Tuesday continuing, just like my Monday night live stream. Monday, if you're new to my channel, you'll know the Monday night live stream is for 1/6 scale Toy Soldier guys, or excuse me, G.I. Joe guys. I got some of them in the chat room already. Big Boss Jack, thanks for joining us tonight. E4 Airman. Stacy Armstrong, he's my partner in crime on my Monday night show. Thanks for supporting the 1/32 scale, brother. I appreciate it. Let's see who else we got. We got my sister up in Pennsylvania. All right. And Amara was in the stream last night. I appreciate you joining us. So, well, I'm not going to wait any longer. We got a special guest. Many of you guys probably know this gentleman. He has a YouTube channel with about 20,000 subscribers. So he's going to tell me how to bump up my channel for sure tonight. He's been on Facebook. He posts a lot of his pictures and his videos there as well. So you guys probably know him as James Viola. And let's bring him in here. Thank you for joining me tonight, sir.
Hey,
I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, Paul. It's really an honor to be here, man.
Dude, when I found your channel, I'm probably late to the game. I found your channel probably 2 or 3 months ago. And, man, you got me hooked right away because I've been collecting toy soldiers for 30 years. And there was always a rule. You did not paint plastic toy soldiers, okay? Those are toy soldiers. You don't paint them. And when I saw you painting some of those, I was like, oh, man, I might have to get started doing this, dude. So let me start off with that question. What drove you to painting plastic toy soldiers, or is it something you've been doing all your life?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I kind of swung into the Army men through Warhammer, and my buddies during the pandemic were like, you got to play Warhammer. And I was like, I did that already. I actually did it back in high school. I was around 2003, 2004. I started picking it up, and it was into like the local hobby scene and playing with a bunch of those guys. Me and my brother were into it. My brother's a painter too. He just paints Warhammer, but he and I did that in high school, and we kind of gave it a break through college, and then we both got married, had kids, and right during 2020, when everything shut down with the pandemic, a group of my friends were like, "Yo, you got to get into this with us," and I was very reluctant. I was like, I know me. If I start this, I'm going to get real deep into it, and I got real focused on my business. I still am, but now it's kind of like split. Family, hobby, business. And before it was just, family business. So it's been a lot of like trial and error to get here. But yeah, I was hooked with the Warhammer stuff. And as my son was taking like naps, I was painting Warhammer, and I was stay at home dad, but also running a business, graphic design business, from the same room that's my studio. And it just kind of worked out that like I had lulls in business and things were going good. So Doran said one of the great things about working for myself was I was able to like manage my time the way I wanted to, which led to a lot more hobby time. And in that, I kind of was like, all right, maybe if I get to a point where I'm good, I can start, sharing how to do it on YouTube, because people always like expressed an interest in the stuff I was painting, and some people even hired me, like commissioned me. And I was like, okay, so maybe there's something to this. Maybe I can share it with other people, because I knew some great examples out there of people who are already doing it with
Yeah.
amazing success and to varying degrees of skill too. I mean, there's obviously the best people who are on YouTube right now with like hundreds of thousands of followers, and like that's very admirable. But I was like, well, let me kind of dip my toe into this. And for some reason, I was in my basement. I have all my toys from when I was a child. So my brothers too. I have all of ours are at my house. So it's like Ninja Turtles, Batman, Marvel, some like obscure stuff. My parents were awesome. They kept it all. So when my son was born in 2020, 21, I started bringing them from my parents' house to my house. And in that like shuffle, I found lots of like cool old army men. I found some Marks toys, there were Indians, and then some cowboys, and then a bunch of British paratroopers like in a bag, and like just like lots of army men of all different styles, a lot of these type stuff, Vietnam era type stuff. And I was like, oh, these are pretty cool. But I thought they were US soldiers. I really had very little knowledge of what troops were what, like like the subtle differences and everything. Like I always admired World War II movies and history. And uh, my family has members of our family who fought in that war. So like, there was always an interest in me, but I never really invested much time into the history of it. So it's been like a huge history lesson on top of learning how to paint and to
Oh
shoot
yeah.
video and record video. And like I've always dabbled in video and photography, but actually like putting together cohesive videos and doing voiceovers and learning all that stuff. And then on top of that, learning YouTube has been fun. But so I sort of stumbled onto Army Men because I found them. I was like, oh, this would probably be fun to paint. It'd be a break from Warhammer. And like they're old Army Men. They're not worth anything. If I ruin them, who cares? So I started painting these British paratroopers just like in a real simple dry brush style. At the time, it was sort of being called slap chop. It was like it was like the advent of that term online. It's basically painting something black, dry brushing it with like a white on top, and then it pulls out all the details, and then you just paint thin coats over those highlights, and it gives you like a natural highlight. You basically tone the paint. So I was like, oh, that's a very easy way to do it. It seemed like really fun and simple. And to date, that's still my best performing YouTube video. And it's only got like 45,000 views, but it's not been like my biggest like gainer, like in terms of subscribers. That's all mostly come from shorts content, but that's kind of how I got started into it. I started doing the shorts like as I was learning and getting like doing more and more with YouTube. And then I started to see better engagement and growth through
Yeah.
doing shorts, and then adding like YouTube lets you add copyrighted music to shorts. You have to hit some crazy number to monetize with shorts though. It's like 3 million in 3 months or 10 million in 3 months to get like the full monetization. And then you do a revenue split if you use copyrighted music. So I was like, okay, I'll do this and sort of like, focus, like I'm not making money like on it. So might as
Yeah.
well just have fun and use copyrighted music and stuff like that. And that sort of began to fuel a lot of um, my drive to make these videos. Because at the end, I would focus on the painting, trying to do my best job, like getting better with painting. Then I try to do better editing techniques, and then try to understand just everything that needs to go into making a YouTube video good, like that's shareable. People want to like watch over and over again. And it's been a lot of trial and error through that process. And the music has kept it really fun. And now I just saw that YouTube actually lets you do that you can like buy a real like song now. You don't have to like, you can buy the license to a copyrighted song, which is awesome.
Hmm.
Because I was just thinking like they should just let you buy one. But then I was just reading you still have to do a revenue split. So now I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do, because I want to treat it with the respect of a business in some regard, and like in the hopes
Yeah.
that it will make money. one day, but it's not my primary goal. My primary goal is still like to learn and do everything I'm doing and have fun with it. So I want to grow. I want to keep growing my audience, and I think people really like the music side of things. Not, I mean, I get complaints too, like this sucks, and this, but it's more overwhelmingly positive, especially as I start to learn who the market is. And we talked about it. It's
Yeah.
predominantly male audience, and I'm 38, and I like rock and roll. I like all music, but I really like dig like the classics and stuff. And
Sure.
I'm like, yeah, we all do. So I think that has been really integral in like helping me grow the channel, like just making little fun music videos with like a creative twist to it. And
Yep.
yeah, it's like then as I started to learn more from everybody, as I was posting more, I would learn more about uh, the different model toy makers. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I had like a bunch of other army men too growing up, specifically the Matchbox, which I started collecting. And like the vintage stuff is really hard to find. So that was very exciting. So I know I've been talking a lot.
No. That's good, man. So let's start off with a 1/32 scale toy soldier, because that's what most of the people follow my channel for. I'm not
Yeah,
into the
definitely.
1/72. What is your
Mhm.
favorite scale? I mean, is that your favorite scale to paint?
It is my favorite scale to paint. I like, so there's different reasons I would like to paint 172 over 132, and it's all to do with like the mechanics of how my brain is feeling. Uh, I like I like painting the 132 if I want to paint like broader, bigger details, and then I like the 172 if I want to just like be real mechanized and like kick out a bunch of troops. That's what kind of like been like learning to do, like how to paint them fast because the details don't matter so much. So it satisfies like a bit of a painting itch. I just really love painting. That's
Yeah.
like the bottom line. But I don't always want to paint the same thing. And when I sit down to paint, I really like to try and get something done in one sitting. And the Army men are great for that because they're pretty limited color palette for the most part.
Mhm.
And I can just focus on the face or something. And then I sometimes go back to Warhammer, but not as much.
Do you convert many of your 1/32 scale, or you just take them the way they are?
Yeah, I haven't done any conversions really. I did a couple like I added flames to one flamethrower guy, and then I did some cool photography with a Warhammer
Yeah.
model with that. And I guess the most conversion I'm doing lately is adding bases, like trying to figure out cool ways to manipulate the base or put them in a little diorama. I have seen some cool videos of people like chopping off the tops of bodies and putting them on other bodies. So that's a pretty neat idea. I just have so much already that looks great and wants to be painted. And to get to, I'm like, all right, once I start like running, like getting bored with the base stuff, then I'll probably look
Yeah.
to do that. Cause I did a lot of conversion work with Warhammer because it started to get the same way, get repetitive, try to make
Sure.
stuff like my
Yeah.
own. The 135 model kits, I think, lend best to that
Yeah.
rather
The
than
model.
chopping up
The
these guys.
Yeah. So take me from start to finish on, let's say, an Airfix figure. You take
Yeah.
it out of the box, you cut it off the sprue, go. Because
Yeah.
I've
So
heard mixed things. I've heard people wash them, people don't wash them, people just spray them with primer, people never spray. Acrylic,
depends.
oil base. I
Yeah.
mean, like it's all over the place, man. So
Yeah, it does depend. Airfix has, if you're going with like a newer, like vintage Airfix is a different material. It's rubberier, and today's Airfix doesn't come on a sprue. It actually just comes in a bag, and it's a pretty brittle plastics. It kind of sucks. A lot of the U.S. troopers, especially, they have thin barrel tips, and all of mine came broken in one of the recent bags I bought,
hmm,
which is disappointing. So the best troopers I think are like the German soldiers. They have like the thickest barrel guns rather. So yeah, those harder plastics. I mean, I think it's good to wash everything, especially if you're handling it beforehand. You get a lot of oil on it. Then I take it outside and I spray. So I wash it usually with like detergent. That's
hmm,
it. Just like a little cool water. They say warm water. What doesn't matter. Um, and I dry it like get it in a good spot. If there's any water droplets, like they tend to lend in the arms and stuff, they get in there and you miss them and you spray paint them, the spray paint is going to dry to the water and you're going to get these weird bubbles. It's really strange. So yeah, I take them outside. This time of year has been tough because it's been really cold and humid out in Jersey. So I usually warm up the rattle can under the hot water, shake it up for a good 4 to 5 minutes, take it outside, and then I'm like hitting it in really light strokes to make sure I don't like smother it.
hmm.
Um, let that dry, double check, make sure I didn't miss any spots. But usually getting like just a little bit on there is enough for the paint to stick to. And then I like to use Vallejo's brand for everything because they have like the best color match. A lot of times I'll spray paint with the rattle can, and then they have a matching bottle
So
to go
so
with
no
it. So if
matter
I need to
what
do touch
figure you're
ups.
going with, whether it's German or American, you prime them all gray, or do you use
Well,
different?
no, it depends actually. If so, there's a fun thing you can do with priming. I think adds a great layer of depth to them, and it kind of takes away a lot of the like extra work you have to do. Is if you spray paint the miniature black, and then from overhead you do what's called a zenithal prime, which is the zenithal point, like it's the top of the figure. As you spray down, that mimics light, and it'll just cover the top half. And if you look under, you'll get like a nice two-tone approach, like look. So look under, it'll be black. Look on top, you'll get that top color. You look straight on, you get a nice gradient top down to from light, and you get a nice natural shadow. That feels pretty good for the proportions of that figure. The smaller you go, the harder it is to really to appreciate that.
Yeah.
But if you do it black with a top down gray or a top down green, like those are your great base coats for Germans and Americans respectively. And it like just cuts so much of the work down, because then you can just go into right into applying highlights. And you basically get like a mid-tone from that. So yeah, I mean, I also like to just work from just straight black, depending on if I really want to control the entire look of the miniature. And then I'll do a dry brush on top, and that'll do a similar effect that the zenithal prime straight down will do. Is that you can kind of put the light where you want it to in very light strokes. You can see that done in some of my shorts and not others. I'm always trying different techniques. It really just
Yeah, I
depends
noticed that on a
what.
couple of your videos. Yeah.
Yeah, it's never the same thing. It's because I'm learning. The whole process, like from day one, it's been like me just trying to do something a little bit different with the painting or the editing or something.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always like take off. Like it never actually does. But it's kind of like me. I've noticed the short content does well because people like the music, and it's sort of like, how fun is it really to watch someone paint? Apparently it's not that engaging. Right. So, and I accept that. And it's a therapy thing for me in a lot of ways.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
enjoy
Yeah.
it, and it's fun to build
Yeah.
the
It's still a hobby.
skill.
Yeah. I mean, you're
Yes.
not
So it's
selling
like,
these,
how,
are you? Are you selling these?
no,
I
no,
mean,
no.
they more for your collection. They're just.
They're just for me. Like, I think I want to inspire people to paint them themselves and do things for
Yeah.
themselves. But I have sold some just because I was curious to see what they would fetch. And I could share that. I could share that as like, I have pictures of that I can share with you too. Um, but yeah, it's kind of been this fun little trial and error thing where I kind of getting better at it as I go. And yeah, the subscribers have been picking up, man. And I tell you, a lot of them, I'd say a quarter of them are from one short video there was one of my earlier ones from 2 years ago. It just gets views all day, every day. I don't know. I don't know. It's partly, I think, because it's got Metallica in it. It's got Search and Destroy by Metallica, which is just a fucking banger of a song, pardon my
Yeah.
language.
Yeah.
And uh, it's got like crazy statistics, and it's like an anomaly to me compared to all my other content. And there's a lot. There's like it's one of these things that's just um, consistently producing views, and then I've got some that took off over the summer, and now they don't get any views. And it's just like
The algorithm, man. I've been doing this for so many years, and I can't figure it out. I'll spend a ton of time on one video, all the editing and everything and background music, and it won't get the hits. And then one you just throw up, you're like, I'll just do this, and you get 1,000 hits, and right away it's like,
yeah.
what is different than this? Was it time of the day I put it up? Is it
And you know what? I'm starting to figure out some things that people like. That there are some things that do better. Like
Yeah.
it really it's mostly falls on me to do the right things in the right order. I've been saying this over and over again. It's order of operations. And if I deviate from what has worked in any way, then I'm putting, it's a risky move because it might not perform as well. But I'm willing to take like little risks like that, like trying things, like putting the reveal at the beginning of the video as opposed to the end or something like that. Like where people are going to click off faster if they like get what they're looking for faster. But or I'm trying to think of like rewatchability. Length is somewhat of a factor. It really depends on how long. Like I'm trying to gauge people's attention span. So you only get so much analytics, right? You can't see everyone, like how many people are watching over and over again down to the detail, but you get a broad enough idea that you kind of say like, okay, people dig this when it's related to X, Y, and Z. And I can't predict it. I really can't. I've had some, like I've posted really late and they've just taken off overnight. There was a Gurkha I painted, and then that was like that hit 60,000 views in a couple days. And then for 3 months up until just recently, I hadn't had anything break 20,000 views. And it was just how it was. I don't know. And then I went back to, it wasn't necessarily anything specific. I think maybe the German content does better. It performs better, but it's not always the case.
Yeah.
So like people generally like the bad guys. I mean, everyone likes the bad guys, like in everything, every video game, like throughout history, people like to see like the bad guy stuff. And they did have really like interesting camouflage to paint and really interesting uniforms.
We got a question from Joe Baker. I want to know if you can see some of your figures. Do you have anything?
Yeah, I did see
pull
that.
up, or do you want to do the share thing now, or?
I cut my hair.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that you?
Yeah, I'll share my screen. Let me see here. I got my podcast picks. So I kind of have a lot of different things. Let me find this presentation share screen.
I know Joe Baker is huge in Civil War stuff and World War II. So if you could pull up some of those.
Oh yeah, I don't have Civil War, Joe. I have, it's mostly World War II. This is I'll kind of go through each one. Like they're not in any specific order. It's just how I could best get them saved in my computer.
Yeah, no, this is good.
But
is good.
Yeah, so I try and when I usually open a new box, I usually paint the officers first. But any guy in like a really interesting position, I'll paint. This is the one that it's like not even that great, which baffles my mind. But this is closing in on 900,000 shorts views.
900,000. I don't think I have one video that has.
Right, and it's interesting to me because it's an anomaly. It's got like crazy statistics as far as like people choosing to watch it. It's almost like 90% choose to watch this video.
Wow.
Of the people they show it to, right? And they watch almost the whole thing, which I mean, it's not very long. It's only 37 seconds, but it's a banger little video, and it never really has like a clear like view of the figure at the end. Like there's no like round table shot of it. It's pretty, pretty shot like pretty like guerrilla style, kind of like just slapped it together.
That looks like a CTS figure, I think, or no?
Yeah, I know this is an Airfix. It's actually a vintage Airfix. Yeah, you can actually see like, so as I was learning how to clean up these vintage Airfix guys, this rubbery plastic kept fraying on me, and I think it's really ugly because it's really hard to smooth them down. And I was trying heat, and then I'd melt the figures, and it was always something. So
do you put a coating on? I forgot to ask you that after you're done painting.
This guy, I don't remember. I think once he hit like a couple 100,000 views, I was like, okay, I'm going to save him. Like, I think I did varnish him. I usually use a matte varnish if I don't, if I don't want it to wear off, but I don't handle them that often. Usually when I'm done, I put them in a container. I have this case. I'll show you. I have lots of these like storage bins with liners in the bottom. And I'll show you how I store them, but they kind of get stored away. This is a group of SFs Waffen that I painted. They're CTS. They're just classic toy soldiers. Yeah. And then that's a BMC tank behind them. And I did sell these guys. I painted them to sell them. I painted them on a live stream. Then I sold them on eBay and I got 180 for them, which I thought was pretty good. But the amount of time I put into them, it's like a don't quit your daytime. Don't quit your daytime job.
It's definitely got to be a hobby that you like.
Yeah. Yeah, because it took me upwards of like 3 hours a guy, I think, total. So it was like 21 hours of work, maybe a little less. I think that might be a bit stretched.
Yeah.
But it's still like, thanks, man. It was cool. It was cool to sell them. I was like, I want to get more of the stuff out of the house, but a lot of it is just like they have their own videos now.
So did you buy those strictly to sell to somebody, or did you just buy them?
I just bought them to paint, and I was like, you know what? People seem to really like these guys. Let me see, because I had sold a group of let me see if I sold these guys first. This was the first group of soldiers I sold on eBay, or
Wow.
second actually. I sold these guys for 180 as well.
These are TSSD, right?
Yeah, so these are a bit bigger. These aren't 132, but they were my first ones I sold, and then I was like, I bet I could do it again. So a couple weeks later, I sold this one. So they sold within 24 hours of posting them. I shared them on YouTube, and somebody Snap bought them right at the Buy It Now, which I thought was really, really awesome. I signed them all at the bottom of them, packaged them really nice, and I like that. Like, so I'm an artist really. I went to art school, and I used to sell paintings and photographs and prints. So I've always sold art in some capacity. So this was like one of my first few times actually selling miniatures. And then I've done some commissions as well for people, and I just never really found a groove with getting commissions, because it was only selling to a couple close friends who didn't have time to paint.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I want to really get into it, because there's a lot of I mean, honestly, it's just harder to justify the cost, because I know what I can make in my graphic design business. Versus this, it's not worth switching over.
Yeah.
But as fine art pieces, I'd be happy to sell them, but I have to sell them for a lot. Excuse me.
Have you ever painted anything other than plastic? I mean, you into metal?
I used to paint metal. No, yeah, I used to paint metal in high school, because a lot of great games workshops had pewter figures. And then, I can paint anything. I paint. Sometimes I paint wood, and sometimes I paint canvas, like paintings, but nothing really recently other than miniatures. It's been plastic, sticking with plastic, and just getting really good at that. And it's been great for just like getting familiar with painting with a brush, which I was not used to.
Did you consider yourself a collector or no?
Yeah, so I've got here. I'll stop sharing my screen here. How do I do that? Oh, here we go. Okay, so yeah, so through all this, I kind of got a great, sort of took myself on a great little history lesson about not only toy soldiers, but World War II as well. And people were talking to me about, oh, I love Matchbox. I didn't have any Matchbox. I was just posting Airfix stuff that I had found in a hobby shop and painted those. So then I started looking on eBay for Matchbox in like learning about what they made in the 70s and 80s, and then like learning what sets were produced, right? So, and then figuring out what the going rate for them was. And I'd say when I started collecting them, they were a bit lower, and then in the past year and a half, the prices have really gotten, like, at least the listing prices on eBay that I've seen have all been in excess of $60 per box. But when I first started picking them up, I was getting them for like $25 a box. So I think I got my first 4 for around $100. So those were, I got this Africa Core set. The box is probably the worst of all the boxes I have. It's pretty yellow and dinged up. And there is a short on my channel of each one of these, showcasing the box in a 360 view, and then the contents as well on a turntable. So this is probably the worst of my collection. If I show you all of them, I've got most of them are the 1/32 scale guys, and then I've got these two guys in 1/76 scale. They came in lots with like the other ones. So putting them all side by side, the Africa Core one is like the yellowest. But I'm very, very pleased with my. I've got 3 where the boxes are beautiful. So this American one, this was sealed when I bought it. Oh. And then I popped the seal on the side so I could take the video. And so was the German one. The German one's really nice and crispy.
Yeah, that's nice.
But it's damaged on this side a little bit. There was a sticker there. But other than that, it's really nice. It still has the original plastic seal. I like the box designs like a lot. I'm a graphic designer. I've been doing this for 15 years now, and box design, packaging design is something I worked on a lot. And I love it for toys, but there is a lot of hit and miss out there. And the Matchbox stuff is, in my opinion, like, it's just so iconic because it's so simple. It's just the artwork, and then there's the logo. Well, Matchbox, I mean, then like learning on the flip side of that with Airfix, it was like very much about the branding on top of the box, which I think is also awesome, especially the old 70s ones that had like the Target design. And I've been watching a lot of Jerry from Toy Soldier Nostalgia.
Yep.
He's got great history lessons on the entire Airfix range, which is cool. So I learned a lot about him. I learned a lot from him, and I like to listen to his videos too while I'm painting. And then if I make anything, I'm like thinking about like I go to him as part of like my research for stuff. Like if I anything specific that's cool about the figures or the sculpts, like he even knows who the sculptors' names are, which I think is awesome. Like I don't know where he gets this information from because
I love his channel, and I'm trying to get him on too. I know the time difference is a little off, but we're gonna get him on the channel.
Yeah, he'd be a great guy. He's awesome. He's so knowledgeable and friendly. He jumps into my chats, into my comments sometimes, and lays down his wisdom, which I always appreciate. If he's not reading that out of a book or something, he needs to write it down. I mean, I know he's got it on video, but he needs to make a book or something. There might be Airfix books out there. I'm sure there are something.
You got two questions in the chat room I got to get to. I'm getting yelled at here. Two people asked, what type of brushes are you using?
Right now, I was just Kolinsky hair, really anything. I've got a number 2 and a number 1 and a 0. And I got Vallejo makes a very nice brush now that it's three brushes for $30. So it's like $10 a brush. And they're good. It comes in size 2, 1, and 0. And then I have Green Stuff World brushes that are also Kolinsky sable hair. And that was $60 for 4. It was 2, 1, 0, and 00. When I started though, I cut my teeth just buying bulk at Hobby Lobby because they would always have, they still do, they have 40% off Masters Touch paintbrushes.
Okay.
So they're usually between $2.99 and $5.99, but they always offer 40% off discounts. So you get, you can go there and spend $20, get, 10 brushes or something, and be off the races. I've damaged and ruined a lot. I still have them all for like doing other types of work. Like once they start getting frayed, they sort of develop cool patterns and stuff. So I save everything, but I've damaged a lot irreparably just learning how to properly clean the brush. And I've forgotten not too many, but I've forgotten to clean them when I'm done. And then they're completely destroyed by the time I get back to them. So learning on synthetic was very cost effective. And then I went through a couple synthetic nice brushes before I really got it. I was like, I'm still not good at this. And then, what was the other questions?
The other question was, do you do face details? I'm sure on the 1/72 scale, you really can't do much, but
I tried in the 1/32. I have one 1/72 scale video. I tried and it was hard. So I have a lot of British commandos I painted. There's 11 of them, and I just painted their faces. I spent a lot of time on them, just trying to get good at it. And I was getting faster. It really depends on how good the sculpt is. Like there's a lot of troops that the face is just not worth spending a ton of time on. So I spent a lot of time on the commandos, and then recently, when I've been painting, I spent a little bit of time, but it's really about capturing like the whole vibe of it. So I spent a lot more time on the camo. Usually try and pick something to make it look cool, and then now I noticed I was talking about engagement is I notice engagement's better when I paint the base. So like if I really put like those finishing details and give it like a little bit of a diorama feel. So so like the further I can take it, the better. If I really I like maxing out like 100% on one figure, but then I tend to overwork it at times. So I do try and get stuff done in like one day if I can. Like
I forgot to ask, do you put a black wash on yours figures all the time? Or?
It depends. No. So washes are great, and they do what they're supposed to do. Is they tone everything down and they increase the shadows. But for a lot of the best painters I've ever seen don't use them because they know they've mastered the brush technique. So a lot of me wants to learn how to really do it without washes. And then if I'm just trying to get it to look cool for the tabletop, like for games or something, then a wash is really speeds up the process because people aren't going to be like judging it for that, but you still get a great effect. So it depends what it's for. If I really want it to just look awesome, like the single heroes and stuff, I don't usually use the officers rather. I don't usually use them.
Quincy has a cool question. How do you stay motivated? He said he's got several projects on his bench, but you get 2 or 3 figures painted, and then you're like, man, I got 10 more of these. I got 20 more of these, man. How do you stay
Oh,
motivated?
so that doesn't motivate me necessarily all the time. What motivates me is the community, like the YouTube stuff, sharing, getting feedback, and like seeing like the viewers explode, and then seeing how it does, and like analyzing. Like I've always been like big into analytics. I've had like managed websites and stuff, and this is the best I've ever done. I've been at it the longest, most consistently too, is growing a YouTube channel. So that has kept me motivated with painting, because I want to share like cool stuff, and I'm not necessarily so painted on not necessarily so focused on painting units of guys. I still do it, but if it's not fun, I'll focus on another area. Kind of depends on what I want to do. So I really love the act of painting. It's like I could do it all day, every day, and it's kind of I have to stop myself because I have a job too. So I have to like really regulate myself, and sometimes I get like upset about it. I'm like, I'd rather be painting. Um, so it's something that I really love to do. And sometimes when I'm painting Warhammer, I don't always feel like painting a bunch of guys, but when I do, I try and make it one project. So that keeps me motivated, like focus one project at a time. So rather than having a bunch of guys on my desk that I'm going to get to through the course of the week, it's like, okay, I'm going to sit down. I'm just going to paint their jackets, and then I'll put it aside and I'll come back to it and just paint their pants. And it's one project I'm moving, and it's not several pieces. So I'm not thinking of it as, it's not as daunting to me, I guess.
Yeah.
And then if I'm just painting one guy, then I just have that one guy in front of me. So it's like I'm always working on the group, or the like of a big vehicle, for example. That's one project. And a lot of variety keeps me motivated too. Getting new tools keeps me real motivated. Whenever I'm feeling like a lull, which is honestly like once every other week, I'll take a ride to the hobby shop, and I'll buy something small, like a new figure set, or some new paints, or a new brush. Really anything that kind of gets me jazzed to want to sit down and make something new. And it doesn't have to be expensive. Or sometimes an idea, like if I want to, make something out of trash. Right now, I'm working on a 172 scale Stalingrad. I know this is not the 172 channel, but or group, but this is like something that is a different way of thinking from 132. That when I go back to it, I just have like a fresh mindset. But I've still been painting, right? So I can take a break, try something new, and then painting guys who are real little, like this size, down from
that's tough.
down from, I don't have anybody finished here, down from this size, but you kind of give yourself a whole new perspective on what looks good and what you're comfortable with when something.
You said your favorite scale to paint is the 132nd scale. Do you?
Yeah, these guys are great. I mean, every scale has its quirks. When you're painting just 1/3, like army men, because there's always something to clean up.
Yeah.
Like if they have, this guy's pretty good because his seam line goes down his side and it doesn't interfere with his face. So he's actually, Jerry from Toy Soldier Nostalgia just did a video on these U.S. paratroopers.
Yep.
And it just so happens I've been painting a bunch of them. And like I've spent a lot of time on it. Did I? I don't even think I did. I think I spent, maybe 10, 20 minutes painting a base coat on his face, and got the base coat on his jacket and pants done. And I haven't gone back to him, but there's a lot of potential to add more detail to him. So he's one of these like side projects where I have the whole process recorded, and I can, when I'm all done, I'll just pull all the clips together and make a video. Yeah. So that's been another aspect of it, like organizing that. The order of operations.
Have you heard of the company Plastic Platoon?
Yeah.
For figures?
Do they just make little guys? Like
132nd scale. I didn't know if you never painted any of those. You got a question in the chat room if you ever painted any of those.
No, they have them at that size, Joe?
Yep. Yeah, they're mostly 132nd scale, Plastic Platoon.
Oh, that's cool. I thought they were like little army bundles. I guess I haven't looked at them. I've really only messed with Airfix. whatever BMC is reproducing, like the CTS,
Yeah.
a lot of CTS stuff.
Timmy CTS, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't painted any of my Matchbox because I kind of grew attached to them perfect the way they are, and I don't know. I might try and get some loose out of the box because they came complete with the box. I'm like, I like that right now, but it might all change one day. And yeah, I would like to get some loose ones to paint them up. And what else do I have? I've painted a little bit of Tamiya 135. I have some like projects.
See, now I
over the
consider
last-
that models. I don't know when you're gluing
Yes,
them
they're
together and
different.
stuff. To me, that's a
Yeah,
model. You know, it's
they're
not.
different. Yeah, I even have some bolt action guys that I got free from a magazine, War Games Illustrated. So like I have like random stuff. I have all different. I have D&D figures. I have some Bandai. Like I paint like in. I was thinking about doing like some alternate World War II history stuff, and I picked up this Bandai figure. There it goes. It's reversed.
Yep.
And these are super cheap. This was $15, and I just painted it up and gave him like a U.S. Army color scheme and some stars, some faded stars. And it was like a storytelling element in my head where I was like, okay, I could probably do something with this. So I got I have like one for Germany set aside, one for the Brits, and one for Japan. They're all ready to paint. But the series wasn't doing so good, and I just started to lean back into figure painting for a while. So it's largely though World
You don't
War
really
II
do
themed.
dioramas, though, do you? You're just individual
Like,
figures sets.
yeah, I have a couple. Like they're more like vignettes. They're very small. There's like a couple on the channel that I did when I first started making videos for YouTube. I did the Army Men painting, and then I did a couple dioramas. One for a friend, one for my brother, and there's one other one. One of the Army Man being chased by a robot, and
I
that's
like that one.
broken. Yeah,
You
that's
kit bashed
broken.
that thing. That was cool.
Yeah, that was fun. That was like a bunch of old toy gun parts, and a piece of a bottle cap from one of my son's yogurt pouches.
Yeah.
And like that was cool because he kind of helped inspire that build. It's since broken. It's sitting like the robot broke, but it's still like all there. I could rebuild it. And then I want to actually. So what I started doing was piecing out all the elements I'll need to make like a proper diorama. I have this thing for Christmas as a decoration, but it's real sturdy, and it would make a great base for a diorama if I put some foam on it and did a proper base over. And I like this little lip that's in there. Sure. So there's like this is the stuff where I like to get crafty, where I like to try and find things that aren't necessarily common and try to make something cool out of them, like either scenery or whatever. So I got that going on. I also, one of the things over here, so I'm making little bunkers for 172 scale. And these are Girl Scout cookie tray. This is a Girl Scout cookie tray.
That's cool.
So I thought it kind of looked like, but it's still very much in the works. I'm in the figuring it out process. So, because it's very thin plastic, and when I started to spray paint it, the spray paint started to eat away at the material. Yeah. Then I had to cover it. Now I'm like, okay, now I need details, and it looked amazing next to the guys. It's like the perfect scale. I got to build the doors.
Yeah.
So like that kind of stuff I think is fun. I'm thinking about it from a wargaming perspective. Like, how can I show people fun little things like around their house to make like fun terrain? So that's an idea on the horizon. But for the most part, I'm sticking to what I really enjoy, just the painting part of it.
Yep.
So
I asked you this backstage before we started. Where do you see the 1/32 scale in the near future? I mean, it's dying away? Do you think it's picking up, or it's just in a lull right now?
Well, I know there's some really cool stuff coming out of Russia, right? But you can't get it because of all the sanctions. So I'm like, I look at that. Americans, though, like the American market is really focused on superheroes right now. War in general is kind of like, I know a lot of parents that I talk. I'm a dad of a 4-year-old. A lot of younger parents don't like to have their kids fighting or talking about war. Like guns aren't as popular. Nerf kind of is, but I think just it's one of these things. I think will probably be cyclical. Like an interest in World War II is one of these things where as people get older, they might they think they might naturally do it.
Mhm.
I see myself doing it. It's World War II is one of these timeless things, and it's with so much to learn from, and so many interesting things came of it, like the bomb, right? And I think, if it's in a lull right now, it probably won't be for long. I really don't know. I haven't been checking the market, but I do see with Warhammer's popularity picking up, and just as the population grows, and as kids, like people my age, bring their kids into hobbies, there's always like my generation has like a demand. Call us millennials, right? So we have like a demand for like a high quality good for most things. Like we have like certain, like marketing wise, we have certain things that we like, and I could see like a higher end single injection mold type army man come into market if someone came and did it like really awesome, like do for like toys what Joy Toy did, like
Yeah, Joy Toy. Yeah.
like properly licensed. Like they did some really awesome World War II guys,
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh, they got a great Wehrmacht soldier and a great U.S. trooper, and they're not too bad price, but they're simple. They're like $35 if
Yeah.
you can get them. They're just really hard to get. Unless you want to order from China, and now we can't. Apparently, it's harder to get things from China. So I just haven't looked into it much, but and they're 1/16 scale, I think.
Yeah, they're
So,
bigger.
like, in terms of 132 scale, you need guys like us who are going to like lead that charge. I would love to be like on the art direction team of figuring out like an all new, like either like maybe like Afghan war or something like that. Like bring some of those troop styles, like modern
Yeah.
troop styles to 132 scale. I think that'd be awesome. And then also getting like take that model route and have like non-combative troops in bags would be really cool too. But anything outside of military is awesome as well. There's I think there's got to be people who would love that stuff. Just unpainted hard plastic of figures in cool poses, like
Oh yeah,
anything at
absolutely.
all.
We
Like you
don't
pick
have
a
enough
genre.
civilians when it comes to
Yeah,
wars.
there's not enough cool civilians at all unless you go the model route.
Well,
And
I
then
was just gonna say, what
you're
are your
not
thoughts on 3D printing now? Because I know there's a lot of 3D printers out there making any scale you want. You just tell them what pose you want, and they'll print it out. So
Yeah, and I think it was one of the last guy you had on, the general, maybe
yeah,
he was talking
Classic
about
General we
rubber
talked about.
plastic. Yeah, yeah, you talked about it, right? I think he hit it right on the head. Is the resin is uh very fragile, and you can't
Yeah.
really sit there and play with it. Like, not that I'm playing with these painted guys, but um
You want to be
yeah,
able to throw them in a drawer and pull them out a year later and not be
yeah,
broke.
if it was just like something like you were gonna, play around with and stuff, I think even the Airfix has some room for improvement because they're so brittle. If you drop them, the gun barrel might snap in half or something. Like they're not even that like kid friendly, kid proof. So
Yeah, yeah,
I would love to. Like I think Toy Soldiers of San Diego does a great job. It's Mitch Sean's closet now, right?
yep,
Yeah. So their stuff is great. I think they reheat really well with the rubber. Like a little bit harder would be great, but for the most part, they reheat really well. I've had no problem just putting them under boiling water, straightening out barrels, cooling them off, and like they'll stay.
yeah,
But um, they're among my favorite to paint. They do the best job. I need to get the Russians and I think they have Japanese soldiers too, and there's a U.S.
yep,
Marine set. So there's still some things from them. It's like every toy soldier maker seems to have like one Vietnam set though, like one. Like there's not enough variety in those areas, so I haven't gone down those routes. I've pretty much stuck to where I know you've got multiple factions with, and I guess it's the war gamer in me. It's like there's just more variety in World War II.
yeah.
There's so much.
I think that is with everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I would love to see like alternative history stuff too, like for 132 or just anything really. But yeah, other than the really awesome stuff that's very expensive coming out of Russia, I guess toys like the TSSD sets, and there's one other one. I guess Mars has some
Mars.
that,
Yeah, I just
that are
got.
kind of neat. They
Yeah,
have like modern Ukrainian soldiers. I saw. I was like,
yeah.
oh, more of
Big
that
Sean's
stuff would be
Closet
cool.
carries all those. Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, yeah. And then I saw
You
some people recommended Pegasus,
oh
which
yeah, Pegasus. Yeah.
but I haven't encountered them in the wild yet, so I haven't seen them in person.
Stacy Armstrong want to know: do you sign all your work? You said you sign the bottoms of your figures.
If
If
I
you do,
sell them,
if you
yeah,
sell them, yeah,
yeah. If they want to, if they are purchasing like what I would consider like art models, then I'll sign them, except for the Warhammer stuff because that's usually like an army to friends. But the 3 sets that I've sold so far on eBay, I just little artist initials at the bottom, and it's all matte varnished over.
Yeah,
So
that's cool. Before I let you go, man, I got to ask you some personal questions now. Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
What was your favorite toy growing up?
Uh, Toy probably I really liked Batman.
Batman.
Yeah, I had a lot of Batman. I had a lot of Ninja Turtles. GI Joe was probably my number one though when I really think about it because I still have all this stuff, but GI Joe is what I went back and started collecting like the Battle Core set 3.75 was like my size. I had
Okay,
a
so you're
lot of those. Yeah, I had a lot of those, and then I was pretty spoiled. I had everything under the sun. But you remember, I even had Extreme GI Joe. Remember
don't say
that?
you had the aircraft carrier, man. Then we'll know you.
No, I never had like aircraft carrier money, but I always had like get all the troops over like the course of several months kind of
Yeah.
money. So that was always cool. But yeah,
Joe
you name
Baker
it, I
said
probably.
Conte. That's probably the one you're thinking of. Conte is one of the best ones.
Conte's
So,
another one too. I don't have any though. I just like started to lean down the vintage line of stuff, and I haven't been buying lately because I've been focused on the channel, like painting what I have. I have so much. I still have a lot of unpainted Warhammer.
we didn't
So
even touch on Marks, man, which is the
I
number one.
know that I have a Mark's Native American chief that I painted. I found him in a bin of one of my old toys, and I was like, "Oh, he'd be fun to paint." So I made a cool little short for him, and I had one little tribesman too with him with an axe that it's half painted, and then I got the Airfix Indian set, and I painted a horse and a rider from that. So there's a video of that as well. I think that turned out great. I love painting Native Americans. I don't know. There's something about I've been told, and I believe I do from genetic testing that we have Native American blood in
Yeah.
us, and I don't know. I love connecting to that side of the history. Um, just the rugged ruralness of it, the untamed
Mhm.
nature of it is really interesting. So usually throw on some cool music and paint to those things. And then
Nice.
like the cowboy era is like it's like adjacent to it, but it's like worlds apart at the same time. So there's like so many cool. There's like so much great cinema related to that. So if I could find a good movie related to the topic as well, that's great. I'm just running out of World War II movies. I've watched Band of Brothers and Saving Private Ryan and Fury, and all these other ones like 100 times, and they never get old. But I'm always like jonesing for something new.
I was
And
watching the Pacific tonight. Actually, that was kind of funny.
yeah, that's one I need to. I'm like halfway through
It's
that. It's a great one too.
yeah, it is.
It's like a completely different feel, like vibe in terms of the war.
I know you said you're not a huge collector, but I mean, you still have some of your stuff from when you were a kid, right?
Oh
You
yeah,
said.
so I was really into Magic the Gathering. That was one of my in Pokemon. That was one of like the first thing that I started collecting. I sold all
Yeah.
my Magic the Gathering cards, and I got kind of into the painting Warhammer. Got into Warhammer, just collected way too much of that, and then I toned back on that and got into collecting vintage Matchbox and Airfix when I can find like a really good deal. That's what I'll go after now.
Mhm.
Um,
Any
but
holy grail that you're looking for your collection?
I need Matchbox British Commandos in
Ah,
box. That's the only thing I need
yeah.
to finish the 132 set scale. And I have two British combat troops boxes. So I'm thinking about maybe trying to find somebody if they want to trade or something down the line. It's not
Yeah.
like a priority, but that's the one I'm missing. And I
Yeah. The
probably would like to upgrade my Africa Core box.
commando set's pretty cool, man. I
Yeah,
just
it's
sold that
hard.
actually, and the
Oh, did you?
Matchbox made 2 play sets too, in a German city,
Did they?
which is great. Yeah, yeah, you'll
Oh,
like
see, I
that.
didn't know that. I didn't know that at
Yeah.
all. And did that come
Well,
with figures?
I believe it. Yeah, German and American. Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. Did it come
yeah.
with, I guess, just
It's
figures,
just
right?
same figures that you would have gotten a box fix. So,
Oh, that would be something to look
but
forward
I
to
mean,
or look
the
out
buildings
for.
in there and everything. And it would probably fit on perfect on that little tray you got there too.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
man, I'll have to look into that because
the
I was
Matchbox.
doing, I reached out to Plastic Soldier Review. They do 172 scale. I wanted to see if they knew anything about like what was made, and I've done polls and asked like the community in the past, like what else was like made by Matchbox, but I never heard that. So what was it again? It's two play sets.
So it's gosh, I sold it too. It's a German city. it's the Americans coming into a little German town.
Okay.
So you got to look for that one. And then there's another one with a rocket, a V1 rocket that's actually on a launch pad. And
Oh wait, you know what else there is? There's a howitzer. There's a little howitzer. It's 2 troops and a howitzer. I have seen that one.
is it 1/32 scale, or are you talking?
I think so. That's what the listing said. It was
Okay.
like $30, and I was like, I don't really want that right now.
Yeah.
But it was like came in more like a box, like a rectangular box, not a thin box. So rocket ship, playset,
and the German city. I can't remember the name of it. I'll look it up. I'll send it to you. So
that's awesome.
Let's see. I went through most of my questions. Any regrets with painting and anything you tried and said I screwed up or?
Yeah, every time I sit down to paint, I screw up. I've been working on splinter camo for this guy. So you can kind of see here, this is like an example of one of my boxes full of guys. So this is just a Tupperware container with a lid that goes on top. And what I did was I took it's like grip that you put underneath carpet to keep it from slipping.
Oh yeah.
I laid that down and I stick the guys on there rather than magnetize them all. It's like a mess. So they stick great. Nothing moves. It's like really, it's pretty good in there. They're pretty much stuck down. I was painting this guy's splinter camo, and it's another German paratrooper. And as I was finishing it up, I just hated the way it looked. So like the video's done, like all the video portion is done. I just don't love the way it looks. And I'm like kind of bummed out about it because it was like a whole afternoon of painting. So I'm like, well, it was I learned how to paint like splinter camo or how not to paint it, right? So it's like I could go do it again, but it like deflates me. That happens every once in a while. And now I'm just finished painting 1/72 scale tanks for other T-34s that came with that go with this artillery battle set, and they turned out great. So I'm very excited to get that built. The video done. Like you will not be able to see them, but they're real little. Like I did like the water decals and stuff. So these turned out excellent. They look great on film, and that'll be my next video. I'm hoping to get that out tomorrow.
Do you do much toy photography to like set them up in dioramas? I mean, outside or inside?
Yeah, what I need is more. I need more diorama. I need to build something for them like to live on. I have a little base that I built. That the half track video I posted a half track video. I have this little. I'll just show you. It's right here.
The German one that you just painted. That was cool.
Yeah. So this box I built. It's a road. It's a 1/32 scale road that I built for a collaboration I did with Army men around the house. Shout out to you, buddy. If you see this video, he's on YouTube as well. He makes his own figures, 1/32 scale figures. Wow. So he made these two lovebirds. It's a woman. It's set in the 50s. It's a woman and it's a man, and he gets stuck to the back of a car. So the dioramas come apart because I wanted the base, and it wasn't really staying together. So like, he's coming out of the trunk of the car, and she's looking up at an alien spaceship that is abducting him. So there's a short video of it on my shorts feed. You can kind of see like where I got to it. There's a bunch of like lights, and the spaceship is this thing right here that I built out of a couple pieces of plastic I had. It's like
neat.
Like a
flying saucer.
Yeah. So it went right here, and there was a light that I had fixed in here that shone through, and then he was getting sucked up. And now I use this I used it in the recent half track video, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it works just fine. It's sturdy, but this was like another one of those like eat, pray, love boxes that you can get for like real cheap at a discount. And they make great sturdy little diorama trays. So my goal is to build more of them at different scales so I can do more photography. I know we're at time too. I don't want to go too long. I could talk forever apparently.
Nope. Hey, this was a great interview, man. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate you reaching out. It was very cool. I didn't know this. I didn't like really have any bearings on who was talking about toy collecting or what was really happening with the hobby. So it's very awesome to to
Yep.
meet you and to chat with you officially and to share a bit about myself and talk to your great community here. And people can always, feel free to shoot over my channel and ask me questions over there. I do
Yeah,
try to respond to everybody within a
absolutely.
timely
I know a lot
fashion.
of my guys will probably subscribe to you as well.
Yeah, I hope you as well get a lot of subscribers. I mean, I wasn't really sure who would see it, but I'll once it's live, I'll do another promo for it tomorrow so people can
Yeah.
see. Remind everyone.
All right, buddy. Hey, I'm going to bring you up big one more time, and if you can tell people where they can find you, the name of your channel, Facebook,
Yeah,
whatever, go for it.
sure. Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, thank you again for having me on. Thank you for everyone who came out to watch. It's really an awesome little hobby we have here, and I'm always excited to share what I've learned, even if it's the hard way with everyone. So my name is James Viola. My channel on YouTube is James Viola Official. I did that with the intent that I could help in case people ever got big, no one would be able to get scammed. So look for my name. Don't ever listen to anyone who says they claim to be me unless they have James Viola Official at the end there. But you can check me out there. But it's pretty much where I'm living right now. I've also got a website, jamesviola.com, hoping to launch a store on there at some point. But it's more of like, this is like a long-term play for me, YouTube. So I want it to be like really starting to kick off like in 5 years from now. That would be amazing. So like eyes to the future, and I love painting, so I don't see myself stopping anymore anytime soon, God willing. Thanks again for having me, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for your time.
You too.
Guys, see you. Everybody in the chat room, thanks for being here tonight. And don't forget, Monday night, I have Jim Beard, who wrote the book on G.I. Joe. He's going to be my guest on my Monday night. So join us for that. And then the following Tuesday, it's either going to be Richard Conte from Conte's Collectibles or maybe Joe Baker if I can talk him into it. So we'll see who's coming up next week. So again, thanks for your time, brother. Appreciate you.
Thanks so much. Take care.
See ya.
See you, everybody.